When you go to the GFL ship, have you ever encountered a being that was just so weird looking that it made you feel queasy or anything like that?
Not queasy. I think when I first started to connect with them, like I remember after my abduction, I opened up kind of the telepathic connection. So I would hear them quite often and I would talk to them quite often, but I always asked, "Can I see you? Can I see you?" And they said, "No." And I said, "Why?" And they said, "You'd be too freaked out. Like it's going to be almost like a shock to you." And I said, "No, really." And then they showed me themselves, and one was like a tall white gray alien. I don't know what else, tall white Zeta or whatever. And then the other was a mantis. And yeah, I mean, it was for sure shocking. And it's funny because when you're telepathically interacting with something, like you can't pretend that you're okay, with what they look like at first. You know what I mean? Like I could say, "I'm really happy," and I'm just pretending that I'm happy. But like in telepathy, it's like they can feel your reaction. They can feel your energy. So you can't really pretend that I'm okay with the way that you look. Obviously, now I've seen a lot of different beings and totally, a little bit more desensitized to it. But a really interesting experience that I had. This was back in 2015, maybe. And my partner and I ended up, my boyfriend at the time, and I ended up getting abducted physically. And we were up on this ship and we're walking down this hall. So there's a bunch of beings that like met us there. And they're like, "We want to take you on this tour around the ship." And I'm like, "Okay, very cool." And they were like three shorter gray beings, but their skin was like a lot lighter gray. So they were kind of a different species. There's a lot of different gray beings and types of grays. So anyways, we're walking down the ship. They were like taking us around down these hallways. And there was this gelatinous being that I've never seen. And I've like nowadays, I've seen a lot of different types. And I'm still surprised by who comes around. Anyway, so it was like this pink globular type of being. I don't think it had a face. Like I didn't really recognize a face, but it was full telepathic. Like it was quite conscious. So we kind of met up with this like gelatinous being, or it was just in the hallway. And we were going this way, and I told the being, a gelatinous being, I said, "Hey, come with us." And instinctively, I reached out my hand to kind of pull the being with us, right? And I literally put my hand clean through the freaking gelatin. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. That was an instinct. And of course, it was okay with it. And it just rolled over whenever it went to the ground. And I felt so awkward about having part of it on my hand. And it was just, and it could tell
Whoa.
that I was so awkward about it. And it was fine. Like it was kind of actually laughing at the whole situation. But it was the first time that I'd ever really like, I think, felt a being so intimately. And I even think since then I haven't felt, well, there's been a couple of moments where I'm like, "Can I touch your skin?" Because I don't know, it's just a human thing.
You're one of those people,
So
yeah.
yeah, I'm definitely a touchy-feely type of like, "Can I just touch? What does this feel like?" So, but anyway, yeah, that was definitely a shock to my system because it was so physical. And I've had way more remote viewing experiences than physical ones.
That was a physical experience you're talking
That
about?
was physical. Yeah, that's why it was so shocking to me.
Wow. And this blob, this being, was it similar biology? Was it like a carbon-based life form, you think, or how was it made?
I literally have zero clue. I have seen them before after that situation though.
Hmm.
And sometimes they come in different colors as well. Like, I don't even know how they function. I don't know what they eat. It's all so interesting. Very fascinating. There's like super tiny beings, there's huge beings. And I always kind of wonder, like, how do you get into the ships? You know what I mean? Like, how does a 20-foot being actually come into the ship? And from like every species has a different way of um, let's call it reprogramming their molecular biology. Like a lot of these beings, because they do exist in higher dimensions, they're able to kind of reprogram themselves to fit into certain places.
Hmm.
Um, And so that's where I think some of the beings can what they can do. And then on these ships, there's just literally giant, like large rooms where the beings hang out in if they can't change their molecular structures.
Hey friend, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this particular clip, then I have something else I want to tell you about, which is the League of Superconductors. It's a business mastermind that I run to elevate the greatest change makers of our time. That is people that I like to call quantum entrepreneurs, metaphysical, spiritual teachers, healers, coaches, light workers of different types. And this is a year-long business mastermind starting in May of 2022. So if that's the type of thing that you're looking for, if you're looking to better fuel your mission by having a business that brings in all the abundance you're looking for, that both operates at the 3D level, serving the people of Earth, and at a multi-dimensional level, bringing in all of the higher wisdom and experience that you have access to. That's what we're doing. So if that sounds like something for you, then you can check out the link below, read a little bit more about the program, what we do each month. And I also invite you to apply for a call with me, a strategy session. We can get to know each other. I'll coach you a little bit, and you can decide if that might be the exact thing that you've been looking for. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.